So Paulo Costa versus Robert Whittaker. Paulo Costa lost the fight, but again, it's almost like he's turning into like a Kevin Holland type of guy, or a Tony Ferguson, or a Nate Diaz, or something like that, to where even if he loses, you know he's going to be in an awesome fight. So you're going to be tuning in every single time. And that's where, again, I loved it. Like Paulo Costa, he's slowly becoming like one of like the biggest names in, maybe not even names, maybe fan favorites, the way to put it. But in the UFC, people love the guy, and it's like that. And I think even like this video is not going to be about Marab, but Marab's learning the same thing from Paulo. It's like, just show your personality. Like, you don't have to be somebody you're not. You don't have to, put on, a show, but just be kind of interesting, be funny, be yourself. Whenever the cameras turn on, don't get camera shy. Just be yourself. And that's the thing with both those guys, but especially Paulo Costa, is that they're just fun, funny guys. And they're fan favorites even whenever they lose, even though Marab doesn't seem to lose ever. Um, but Paulo Costa, he got beat by Robert Whittaker. I thought, again, like, Robert Whittaker was winning the first round, but then obviously Robert Whittaker got head kicked, and it was like a wheel kick, right? Spinning wheel kick. And man, he got saved by the bell. But man, the thing is though, is that Robert Whittaker, this dude gets just destroyed. It seems like every single one of his fights. Like, I can't think of one fight that he just like destroyed the other guy. I'm sure there's one out there. It just seems like this dude's in wars. Like, this guy is going to be probably. I don't see how he can do this for much longer. But man, that guy has some heart, because it's like he's at the top of the mountain. Finally, he's at the top of the mountain, and then he just goes into those wars with Yoel Romero, and then gets knocked out by Israel Adesanya. And most people will be done at that point, be completely done. But then he comes back. He comes back, and I think that's like the whole story with Robert Whittaker, is that he's a monster. Well, like, whenever I was watching this, I was like, man, he's gonna come back in round two and he's gonna get knocked out, because like his brain's still rattling and everything. And that dude came out and he won 2 rounds straight. And it's amazing that basically he can come back from not just devastating knockout losses, losing his belt, losing to a contender and everything, and he comes back and just wills his way into winning just a brutal fight. And at the same time, he's like just the chillest guy in like interviews and everything. He's so nice and just like the sweetest guy ever. But then you see him in these wars, and you're like, this guy should have face paint on with like a spear and like go hunt with Alex Pereira or something. But he's like, he's the nicest guy ever, but in there he's like an absolute savage. But so yeah, both of these guys' stock, I think, goes way up. Robert Whittaker is clearly the better fighter, but Paulo Costa, again, you have to give him that too, because I mean, it takes a lot of heart to get into there with someone who's clearly better than you, and you just go in there and just outpace and outwill. And again, a guy with that much muscle, to have the endurance that Paulo Costa has, is really amazing, because he almost looks like he has more muscle than Yoel Romero does, but he throws so much, and he's so fast. Like, a guy who's a brute usually does not have cardio. Just absolutely does. You have to pick one. It's biology. But it's like with some of these guys, I don't understand. I really don't understand. Secret juice, whatever it is. It's amazing. But again, that was a wonderful fight. To be honest, I think that was probably the best fight on the main card. But yeah, after this, I would say Robert Whittaker, yeah, he wins one more fight and he's in a title. He's in a title shot, especially with Israel Adesanya not being like, if Israel Adesanya is whoever he's fighting next, Robert Whittaker is going to be rooting for the other guy. He's going to be yelling at the TV, because if Israel's not champion and Robert Whittaker wins another fight, he's fighting for the belt, and that's awesome. Paulo Costa, he should, honestly, if I were him, I would just fight out my contract and I would go try to do something on the side, almost like a Nate Diaz style, because he's getting a big name, he's getting a big following, and I think for sure if he went out there and tried the market, you know, in bare knuckle boxing or the PFL or something, I think he could get some good money, because he's not getting a title shot anytime soon, and he's just his skill level's not at that level. It's almost like a Mike Perry move that he needs to make, because it's like Mike Perry is never beating the best lightweights in the world or the best welterweights or whatever, but he can really make a lot of money with bare knuckle. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. It was actually an amazing card overall, and yeah, I'm honestly looking forward to like Paulo Costa's next fight probably more than Robert Whittaker's. Even though Robert Whittaker's probably means more, Paulo Costa is just he's so fun to watch. But yeah.